Hello everybody and welcome to the first official Ion International Endurance Championship event. A bit of a rocky start during FP3, had some server crashes. The result of that is all the teams being limited to just 2 cars and not 3, which has caused several last minute dilemmas with every single team trying to manage their drivers. But we do have a qualifying session underway which will finish in about 3 minutes time, so hopefully, all going well, this upcoming 6 hours of Palm Harbour event will go with as many little hitches as possible English. Okay, joining you for the first stint at least in qualifying is me, Depod Dolphin, Project User and Despicable Devil. How are you all doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah, sort of losing my head, but we're all good.
Yeah, that's definitely how it was going before we went on air.
Yes, it was indeed. So it's going to be interesting. This is the first round we've seen of the Iron Endurance Championship so far. So I don't know about you guys, but I really don't know what to expect. It's going to be the long game. It's going to be interesting. So it'll be nice to see a bit more strategy involved to win the race rather than just pure race pace.
Well, you certainly have high expectations considering Critical Noob, one of your drivers in P1 at the moment.
Yeah, well, you know, we strive ourselves on that pace. Obviously, for the viewers who aren't aware, I'm the teammate.
He's just gone off track at the chicane, for that matter.
Bit of bad luck you've cast on him there, but yeah, I think high expectations of what's needed here. IEC, in my opinion, is going to be up there with the likes of F1, etc., but requiring much more management.
I mean, you can compare it just a very long F1 race, let's say.
I was more expecting the Crakes to be slightly higher up at this point, currently P5, P6 and 8th in qualifying with 50 seconds remaining. I don't understand how they have 3 cars out. Oh wait, no. I think Prime Drifter tried to qualify for 1 car, but someone else has taken over. I'm not sure what's happening there, but there's 3 Crate drivers on the board with 2 cars on track.
Are they going to go for the highest results, or are they going to go for the lap that was set first?
I think they should. I think they go for the highest results. And that's qualifying finished. Just going to wait for the remaining drivers to cross the line. This is Matt in the KR car. Finishes P10.
So our top 3 all in the pit lane looks like the top 4 all very confident that they won't have to improve their laps. Indominus Rex is out on track right now, but I don't think he's going to be able to do another lap, as his first sector hasn't been registered on the timing screens, so...
Very hectic session then. Ahead of 6 hours racing here in Palm Harbour. Hopefully nothing bad will happen. I don't want to jinx it, however.
There's always time for something bad to happen.
Just looking now, yeah, especially because in the large volume of people we have here, this must be a full server by the looks of it.
Hopefully less cars than FP3 means that it won't lag as much.
Yes, we have a full server right now, which is the first time in a very long time.
So, not that long to go then, as we get ready for the 6 hours of Palm Harbour. See you in a few moments, everybody. Hello everybody, welcome to Dubai and welcome to the Palm Harbour circuit. It's the first round of the first season of ION's all-new International Endurance Championship with 12 teams, 24 cars, ready to battle it out over the next 6 hours around this circuit. Here you can see a massive long straight right at the back there, very twisty S's section through the first sector, and a little straight at the start-finish line, and the pit lane is. Here are the commentary teams then. Starting off, it's going to be me and Despicable Devil and Project User. Next up, you'll have Fexagan and Blade Challenger. Next up, you'll then have me and Lion Guy. And then finally, to round off the event, you'll have Arceus and Nubita. There you go everybody, as we get ready for the start of the race, which will be coming shortly. As I just said previously, joining you now for the first stint of this race, it's me, G-Pod Dolphin. Joining me is Project User and Despicable Devil.
Yeah, hello. So let's take a look at our quali order at the moment. In terms of team constructors, points gathered together, it looks like Craig are doing very well. They've got, don't know why they've quite got 3 drivers on the leaderboard there, but they've all 3 of them are quite close concession, all within top 9. Prime Drifter being in P9, Indominus Rex in P5, and Whitey Derek in P6. So if we're going off points per team there, they seem to be on top. Obviously, Critical Noob has taken pole for the Toronto team, so that'll be significant points for them. But it seems to be quite a mixed spread, you know, so I think it's very hard to call from here. What are your guys' thoughts on the rest of the race, and what are your predictions for the finishes of this?
Craig previously in the free practice sessions have been very strong, so I won't be surprised if they're up there.
But it seems as if Craig in the practice sessions had been doing more hot lap runs than they were data runs. Of course, I might be mistaken because I don't know too much about how Craig is operating, of course, being a KRR driver myself. But it does seem like they were going for faster laps and less data. So, have they been practicing too much, and will it affect them during the race?
Well, we can only wait and see.
Everyone is currently lining up in pit lane. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it will be a rolling start behind safety car.
Which would be nice. We haven't seen the safety car for a long time.
Also never had a rolling start in ION before.
Never had a rolling start in Ireland before, exactly, so I'm sure most of these drivers are competent enough to understand how a rolling start works, but I'm sure we'll see some mishaps.
It depends. Obviously, we've had starts from restarts from behind safety car in Formula 1 before, especially first race that comes to mind is Season 3, Round 3 in Greece, after a very, very big crash indeed. But we haven't had a full start, like race start, from behind a pace/safety car before, something which is very traditional in the in endurance championships. So it's going to be exciting to see how that fares with all of the drivers and teams that we have here today. Some familiar faces, some familiar teams, but an entire new championship.
An entire new championship, as you say, but a lot of these drivers here are certainly people you will have heard of before. I guess you could call them household names. I'm sure that they're not that popular. A lot of these drivers participating in the GT3 or F1 championships at one point in their ION careers. And some from not so popular motorsports such as Formula E, but you may still recognize their name.
Clearly showing your interest in the different series within ION.
Also have some familiar teams. We've got KR Racing at the front of the shot there. We've also got Audi, very competitive in Formula 1. Also have Brandstar at the back there, very competitive in Formula 1. Tauron comes into IEC from Formula 2 and i8. Also have some new entries such as Renault and Alpine, Fleet and ProDrive, also coming in from other leagues.
Not to mention Craig.
Yeah, big chain of teams across a wide range of series within Ion.
Valor, a team that we saw last in Season 3 for F1 and GT3, has returned in IEC after rebranding to Uprise for most of its series, but seems like Uprise has got a team of their own in IEC, so...
Valor
Yeah, obviously,
famously
under
returns.
new management.
Under new leadership as well, but I'm not going to bring personal bias into their leadership at all.
Yeah, that's down to your own personal decision.
Officially known as X21 Valor Endurance, so for any of those, for any of you in the know, you may be able to create your own opinion on that team before we get racing. But for the time being, we're just going to sit here and have a look at some of these beautiful cars lined up in the pit lane.
Yeah, I do like some of the liveries, I must say, compared to some of the other series where quality drops, shall we say. There are a lot of very attractive liveries here.
Don't actually
I can
know what
recall...
we're waiting for.
It's a great question. What are we waiting for? Let's see.
Have a look.
If there's
Are they...
anything. What are we waiting for? I don't think there's anything holding us up unless we're just waiting for the last couple of checks to be done before we get underway. I wouldn't be surprised considering the recent events that have occurred throughout the series. Formula 1 having multiple crashes, Formula 2 likewise having one after the sprint race at Suwon, and one... was it? It might have been two during the feature race, resulting in a premature ending to the feature race, and the entire cancellation of the F1 campaign in Suwon. So we hope we don't see a repeat of that, especially after the changes they've made with the car allocations after FP3.
Yeah, truly would be a shame, especially how exciting this race is going to be. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely looking forward to this one.
I've been looking forward to it for a very long time, ever since the league was announced back in February.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you on that one.
I can recall all the way back to the livery reveal event when they first revealed the IEC car. A lot of the drivers, especially in different motorsports, were very excited for the release of the series.
And
I'm not sure how excited they are now.
well, I'd say apart from free practice 3, everything's gone pretty
Yeah, don't know if I'd say the same for some of the behind the scenes things for some teams, mine being one of them, but you know, that's not what matters. And the one thing I'm really looking forward to is going to be how each of these teams play their strategy wise, because obviously it's not only how long can you make those tyres last or fuel last, but it's also when are you going to be swapping your drivers, how many drivers are you running, and then also the main decision of who those drivers will be. So, you know, there's a lot of management decisions which have gone on throughout the lead up to this race, and we'll really see if they pay off now.
I can see some people are actually physically standing on the grid. I don't know why. Probably just bored.
I must say myself, I am amongst those people, and yes, it is mostly due to boredom. It's quite boring looking at cars lined up along the pit lane, but hopefully we'll get underway soon.
I have no idea what
I'm not quite
Jogsy's
sure what we're
doing.
waiting for here. Yeah. It's interesting he's driving back for them, because I know there was some concern about him being removed from the rooster. There's a lot of other issues, so
I believe Epic
that
Dude
must have sorted
removed
itself out for
him
the team.
so he could drive himself in one of the free practice sessions.
So we're still here, waiting on the grid. Correction, pit lane.
It's the same bit of tarmac, so I don't see the issue.
And make sure to let us know who you are supporting throughout this endurance race. Any driver specifically you'll be backing, or teams. Now, I've got to ask you two, obviously. Well, Project possibly not more, but you may have an unbiased opinion. We'll go Depod first. Depod, whose livery do you think is the most attractive on the grid right now? I think we've got a lot of competition. I quite like the Renault one. What would you say is your favourite?
A livery contest. No. That's actually pretty difficult. Can I pick a top 3?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let's pick a top 3. My top 3. I think I'm gonna go with the Alpine, the KR Racing, and the Touran as my top 3.
Are you sure about the Alpine? It has that really annoying feature. We'll call it a feature. We won't call it a bug on the nice
What, the
little
angle?
shark fin. Yeah, the angle of their design on the shark fin. I mean, I can't really tell you which livery I like because I like most of them, but I can tell you the one that I'm not really a fan of, and that is the Valor. It just seems so empty in design compared to the rest of the field.
Yeah,
that is.
it's interesting for sure. Don't know if it quite fits suit, but obviously they were in a rush, I suppose. Not quite sure where they got the logo from. I think it was from the real Botty boy, who was one of the prior owners of Valor, who'd used it as trying to make an entry when the entries for the teams were first open.
Let's see if we can verify that story. Have a look through the team entries. We'll see if there was a Valor entry made at any point. There was, and you are correct, that was the livery that they used to apply for a Valor Endurance team.
Yeah, so I presume they've just done that as a quick ditch attempt, obviously not perhaps having enough time to create a proper livery. Got to admire that Pro Drive as well. It's got a very kind of polygonal, rectangular design.
Which car, sorry?
The
Pro
Pro
Drive.
Drive, yeah, blue, black, and white. Who's the owner of Pro Drive?
That is a great question. Let's find out the answer. The answer to that is Water Department.
Ah, that's interesting. I thought he was never mind, that's someone else I was thinking of. So, as we are waiting now to get going. I do like the sponsor choice on that Valor though, I must admit.
This is the race. It's just a very nice. They're actually moving. They're just moving so slowly that you can't see.
Yes, it's like how you can't feel the Earth rotating. They just can't feel the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
I wonder if we could get the camera over to it at some stage. There's a beautiful little formation going on by the boys from KRR on the third grid slot. I just thought we'd admire that for Sever there. Very interesting. They've got a bit of an echelon kind of arrowhead going on there with the team owner of Kaikera in the middle. There it is. We can, you'll see that on camera. They got a nice little formation.
I think we got one answer to your question. Oh no, we got a couple. People have been saying Torun is one of the best. People have been saying that Uprise is the best, and people are agreeing pretty much with Deepwood, Alpine, KRR, and Uprise.
Nice. Good to see you guys getting involved there, seeing who you're supporting as we continue to wait for the start of this race. Unsure what the delay is at the moment. And I've got to say, I was talking about this with a few guys earlier. Do you think for some of the teams who perhaps aren't as big within ION, haven't got as many staff members, as big of an outreach, compared to the likes of some bigger chain brands like KRR or Craig or Brandstar, do you think those smaller teams are going to be finding it harder over these endurance races, just with the pure kind of management skill which is needed to set it up, and you know the number of staff and planning which goes into it? Do you think it's going to be a lot harder for them?
From what you said, yes.
It has been a lot harder for the teams that aren't really change brands because they've had to go out of their way to actually go and find drivers that aren't within a certain driver pool which they already have. Whereas you see KRR, they've got teams in GT3, Formula E, Formula 1, basically most motorsports in Ion that have high class drivers. And of course, they are one of the best teams in most of those series, so they will have a better driver pool and they will have an easier time finding drivers. So, of course, it's going to be harder for the small teams because they have less of an outreach.
So we'll see if we can actually see that in play once the race gets underway. I mean, with that,
That rhymed.
poet, and he doesn't even know it. With that theory ahead, we should be seeing, in terms of management and driver quality, probably the likes of Craig up there, KRR. I mean, KRR had an interesting qualifying. Obviously, Severon P3, that's very strong. Matt, not quite as close in fashion. P11, still not terrible, but not quite as good. So hopefully they aren't a one-sided team. Just looking at some of the other teams, as we talked about Craig earlier, they've got a consistent lineup with Indominus Rex and YT Derek qualifying in P5 and P6. Toronto obviously taking pole position with Critical and Toots in P10. They've got a bit of a spread as well, but again, not massive.
Correction.
No one else
move.
of significance in terms of close together I've seen. Hang on, here's one thing we haven't mentioned. Brandstar. So, obviously for those who aren't aware, we saw as soon as the signing proofs was open for the teams, immediately Brandstar were out, quite bold, quite defiant, hiring some really big name F1 drivers. And we haven't, I don't know if we've really seen the performance which personally I was expecting. You know, I was expecting definitely 2 cars within the top 5 or at least top 5 if not top 10. Haven't really seen that. So do you think we're going to see some pace which we haven't seen in qualifying come out throughout this race?
The IEC car,
Professor.
it's very different.
Yeah, the IEC car tends to be. I see it's more GT3 biased. The drivers which have more experience in the sort of slower cars, it's evident with the Formula 2 drivers even, seem to be doing better than the drivers who are used to high grip, high intensity series. F1, it's very quick. And then you have GT3, Sava, he's in P3. F2, most of the top 10, mind you, are in F2.
Yeah, you got the likes of Esteric School, Toots,
YT Derek.
yeah, YT Derek a little bit. Obviously Professor Bloxer being F1 driver, along with Critical.
So maybe we're just seeing that those more accustomed to oversteery / understeery cars are performing better with the IEC cars compared to those that are those drivers who are more complacent with less oversteery / understeery cars like F1, which is very much locked onto the track.
It's locked onto the track until you make a mistake. But speaking of F1, this is quite a stark contrast between Professor Bloxer, who is one of the AMR drivers, compared to his teammate Fernan, who is the other AMR driver. There's over 4 seconds separating them, so...
And in F1, they're very equal.
Practice time. Exactly. So is it something to do with practice time, or is it just that Fernan hasn't been able to adapt to the cars like he will have wanted to?
I don't know.
Of course we don't know, but I'm sure we'll find out in due time.
Yeah, once again, apologies for the delay as we're waiting to get up. And the KRR echelon on the P3 grid slot seems to be growing and growing as we speak.
Let's see if we've got any information on timings. I don't see any information so far, so we might be waiting a very long time.
Where?
Oh, it's DMAS.
Oh.
DMAS
There
is
we
photo
go.
bombing us right now.
Let's go have another look at the KR cars.
And now you see that echelon. Lovely little formation there. I'm half expecting another restart, server restart if we're waiting this long. Suggests to me that some kind of development update's being made, so we'll
Yeah, we may be seeing some
yeah.
driver tower updates because I'm not sure whether they were implemented or not.
People who seem to just be hoping for attention running in front of the camera. So let's fix that one again, shall we?
It appears that Fleet have joined the little echelon going on, but I don't know if Kaikera is particularly happy about that. iShark there with a sword.
I'm fairly certain that Kira, who doesn't seem to have the greatest of relations with the elite team, I'm sure he is just very good at containing his emotions.
Yeah, that or he's simply tabbed out of the game at the moment.
Oh, and Kira gets killed by iShark.
Now running quite heavily behind schedule.
I think we're over an hour behind now.
Yes,
Yeah,
race was meant to start 30 minutes ago. Qualifying was meant to start an hour ago. I believe qualifying started around on time.
Yeah, qualifying started with about 15 minutes of delay, so we've been waiting about half an hour just to start a race. Surely we get a bit of information, but it doesn't seem that way.
Well, yes, and you know, sometimes we just gotta wait for the magic to happen, and then Hope that it does all come through. I'm sure some kind of useful update is being made whilst we wait. Let's just hope it's ready sooner rather than later, considering all the organising which is going on, you know, with stints, etc.
Our commentary stint will be over before the race even starts.
Yeah. It appears to Ron now in the P1 start, trying to do a little bit of a KRR copy there, starting to build their own triangle.
Triangle?
Sorry, echelon. And for those of you who are still watching and are not subscribed at the moment, make sure to do so. Your name will pop up in the bottom right of the screen, which will give you just a little bit of publicity. And obviously helps the community and the YouTube channel grow by putting back into the media team, who are able to then reinvest and bring greater content to all of you viewers who enjoy Ion so much.
No naughty names though, please. I don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube algorithm.
That would be very unfortunate.
Yeah.
How long ago was it when we hit 3K subscribers? That was our latest milestone.
Yeah, it was a few days ago.
04.
Yep. 3 days ago we hit 3,000 subscribers, so why don't you help us hit our next one? 4,000 subscribers.
And thank you very much for that milestone as well.
We want to make sure that Fexalan doesn't overtake us in subscriber count anytime soon, so in order to make sure that doesn't happen, feel free to subscribe.
Yeah.
And be sure to make as many accounts as you can. Don't do that, that was a joke. I do not endorse that at all.
And obviously make sure to stay tuned throughout the entirety of the stream. We will be changing over commentators on regular stints, so hopefully you won't get too used to our voices.
Too used to our beautiful voices.
Who's in the next stint for commentating, D-Pod?
Next up will
Who's
be...
in the next stint for our commentating?
Let's have a look, shall we? Can't actually remember.
Fanny Tijar. I would have to agree with you on that statement. I think we're all waiting for this race to start here. But it's out of our hands at the moment. Hopefully shouldn't be much of a delay.
Right, let's have a look. Right. Commentators. GMT. So after us, you'll have Fexagan and Blade Challenger. Then you'll have us again. Then you'll have them again. And then you have... Who's in there? You have Lion Guy and myself. And then you have Arceus and Newbeater rounding off the race.
We seem to have a trend with having YouTubers as commentators, don't we?
We've got two on
well,
our
they're the
roster
ones
right
who
now.
applied to the media team.
They will have the best leverage when it comes to applications. You have to put that into perspective.
Yeah.
They have the
and,
most public outreach as well.
speaking skills and confidence as well, I suppose, is translatable across your YouTube career to a commentating career as well. I believe we are good for now, if that's how you say it. Crikey, this is a long delay, isn't it? Hopefully we'll get started shortly.
The crates are so bored, they are driving into each other.
Can you blame them?
I can't blame them, but I'm sure some people can.
Apologies for that.
I would have made a comment, but I don't think I will. Oh. And this is also one of the subscribe messages, and I believe that is very polite.
Ion Smells is the one I've just seen.
Yep.
Thank you very much for that subscription there.
I don't understand if you dislike us that much to say that we smell. I don't understand why you'd subscribe to us.
Well, yeah, to go to the extent of then subscribing is a bit of an oxymoron. Again, thank you to Bacon RFLA owner for subscribing. Hopefully we should be getting going very soon. Wow, a lot of chain of subscriptions coming through. Hoshi Shiragoni. Apologies if that was pronounced incorrectly.
That is the GT3 team. It's Hoshi Shiragane. So
GT3, how wonderful.
There is Raza now subscribing. Crikey. Fexaman is now shouting cancel it in chat as we have some fans, well not fans but staff jumping about in front of the camera. There is Loosebot shouting that he, or is it Toots? No, it's Toots shouting he loves Toots.
I must say this is probably one of the longest 6 hours we are going to have. Hopefully they iron out whichever issues they are having very soon.
Well, yeah, when the first hour is spent waiting for the race to start. Demas is now asking for lunch to be made. Correction, is that Demas? No, it's someone else. Epic dude in the background.
He wants launch.
A little bit late for lunch, my friend, in the GMT time zone. Correction, BST. Crikey, forgot it's summer.
Christ.
How do you forget it's summer? It's about 23 degrees outside. That's rather hot.
23 degrees outside.
It's sizzling.
I can tell you the live temperature from the Despicable Devil computer is 18 degrees C outside.
Yes, I forgot it was rather cold down in the south. When you're closer to the equator.
Yeah, you know, down on the Falklands Islands.
Eating the penguins.
Yep, that's me. There we see that echelon of the KRR again. I'm sure they're all growing incredibly tireless as well.
I wouldn't be
think
surprised
some
if
of us are gonna-
if their entire team has just gone AFK, waiting
I
for the
think
event
that
to
is the
start.
likely case.
Should we see if they've gone AFK? Well, it seems that in their chat they have one of their drivers streaming a YouTube video, so
Again,
clearly they're
can you blame
entertaining
them? I
themselves.
think not.
Yes, they seem to be entertaining
And now
themselves,
we've given everyone ample time to move over to the KRR crew. I'm going to move the camera again, so they have to walk somewhere really far away again.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a game now, isn't it?
Guess where the camera's going to pop up next?
Oh, it's not looking good for the race, I will be honest with you. For it to go ahead, it may be a possible delay to 2 weeks' time, but nothing is confirmed just yet. We are waiting as we speak.
It would be really annoying to have sat here commentating, speaking to everyone for an hour just for it to be cancelled, but
Yeah, I mean, especially since we've had all 3 of the free practices, and then not for it to go ahead. But I mean, if there's a major issue, there is a major issue, and I now think we
Big alert,
now
everyone!
we have with us.
We've got something to do! It's brilliant! Joy, yeah,
We have.
I can't even find the right room to move. Oh, it's not. What? Oh,
Well,
he's left.
Anyway, with us is
Oh, he's here.
Kaikera,
Okay,
the
it's fine.
team owner of KRR Racing, obviously standing in front of that little triangle which we've been looking at. Kaikera, how are you doing?
I'm doing terrific. Not exactly. My throat is a bit sore, but I'm doing fine.
Well, apologies for your throat. Obviously, we've currently got this delay waiting. Do you think the race will still go ahead, or do you think we can expect a delay?
Just quickly, just to butt in here, like I said earlier, please use nice names when subscribing to the channel. If not, I'll just have to turn the alerts off. Despicable, please continue.
Yes, as I was saying, do you think we can expect the race to be starting soon, or do you think we can expect a 2-week delay to the next block for IEC?
Well, I think the race is gonna... Well, it's definitely not gonna start on time, but I feel like it's gonna start today. Good thing is... Well, bad thing was Matt just had a problem with his Discord, had to reinstall the whole thing and restart his computer. He's fortunately back now, so... It would be a bit of a shame that if we delay for him, because it's already 2 in the morning for him. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm kind of...
That is
pro
enough
doing
thing
it today.
about IEC, with the time zones. And that was my second point I was going to touch on. How do you think has it been far challenginger compared to, if that's even a word, compared to other series? Because you've got such varying time zones, and obviously Ion's based around the EST time zone, and with these races being so long, has it been challenging to get the numbers of staff and drivers, and then organising them in different stints, and making sure they're able to make it?
Yes, it actually was. We had a bigger problem in the free practice sessions collecting data for 9 people in 3 cars. Now it's unfortunately 2 cars, but I think we can do with that as well.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. So obviously you were set up for 3 cars, and then we were told right before qualifying that we'd only be running 2. How did that impact you guys? Did you completely get rid of those drivers on that 3rd car, or were they moved across the other 2 cars?
They were moved across the other 2 cars, and well, we've received the bad news, clearly.
Well, yeah, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, server has been shut down there. Thank you very much for your insight. And there is the ping from Faster in the Ion Endurance Championship Discord saying that Ion Endurance Championship has been postponed till the next block.
Right.
So
well,
yes.
I'll be off to my team then.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us for this short time. Just to repeat that message that Despicable just said, this event has been postponed until the next Block B weekend, which is in a couple weeks' time, just to get some of the bugs ironed out. Hopefully it will all be sorted by then, but coming up tomorrow, hopefully we should have Formula E and the BMW i8 Championship around the streets of Zurich as a part of our electric series.
I wouldn't say streets, but definitely in Zurich.
What is it? Is it an
Well,
airport or something? I can't remember.
It is a very nice airport, yes.
Very nice airport indeed.
Aye.
So, yeah, as Deepa said, make sure to join us tomorrow for that. And obviously for IEC, you can see us in 2 weeks' time when we come back round to Block B for the Endurance Championship.
for now, though. Not much else to do. So I guess we'll see you all hopefully soon, sometime. I don't know. We'll see you at some point in the near future. Whatever event you choose to watch. If you want to be able to watch these streams / videos from Ion with a few more perks, then you can join the Ion membership program, get some perks at different levels for just as little as 99 cents a month. Do you want some cool custom wallpapers? Join as a member. Do you want to be able to hear our behind the scenes channel where Project User has just shouted at me saying that I need to talk about members? Then join as a world champion level. You can hear him talk about that. So if that sort of stuff interests you, the join button is just below the video here next to the subscribe button, which you could also click. I'd be very grateful for that. So yeah, without further ado, thank you everybody for watching, and hopefully we'll see you at some point in the near future. Goodbye everybody.